Now, as progressives, sometimes we are better at exercising our critical eyes than our hopeful hearts. You know, one of the problems of the politics of disappointment is that you get disappointed so much, you become an expert in critique. And you get really good at, well, wait a second, I don't know about that. And wait a second, there's that little problem, and you know, well, that's fine, that has its place. But the politics of hope makes a different demand on us. The politics of hope says, okay, what new opportunity does this create? What's possible for us that wasn't possible before? But you know, the problem with that is that it means you have to take a different kind of responsibility. Because the politics of disappointment are easy, you just sit back and criticize. Politics of hope mean you have to step up. You have to find a source of courage, and you have to exercise far more than your critical skills, your imaginative skills. And that's the challenge we have, I think, is one of imagination. Is one of breaking out of those habits of limitation into the domain of possibility that's before us now at this time. And instead of thinking in the old limits, let's think about what we can do, how we can build, how we can take advantage of this moment in order to transform it into what it could be for all of us. You know, in terms of history, you know, change is episodic. It is not incremental. It doesn't just happen constantly in our history. In fact, in our history as a country, change has usually happened in the form of social movements. It's happened in the form of movements going all the way back to the Jeffersonian era and the Great Awakening, the convergence of religious revival with egalitarian democratic politics. It's happened in the form of these social movements, morally grounded, ambitious nationally, and strategic in their focus and their capacity, that welled up, transformed our parties, and transformed our public policy, going back to abolition and to the populist movement, the labor movement, civil rights movement, women's movement, environmental movement. And these episodes have, and I'll say on the other side, the conservative movement. These morally grounded and nationally ambitious and strategic efforts have transformed our politics. Now, this is the first time that I know of that a movement has birthed in an electoral campaign, in a presidential campaign. Because I think of this campaign as having incubated the movement to elect Barack Obama. And I think the question that we have to engage with is, how do we build this movement? How do we build on the inspiration, on the commitment, on the appetite for citizenship? Remember, it wasn't very long ago that the conventional wisdom was nobody cares, nobody wants to participate, nobody gives a damn. Boy, the world shifted. It changed. More civic capital was created through this campaign than's ever been created in our history. People out there are hungry to engage. Now we have to step up to the imaginative challenge of coming up with the ways to translate that engagement into action. And that's what I hope that there will be an opportunity to work on with you here today. I see my time's up because we're going to continue on the panel. We can talk more about it. But I just want to emphasize one point. Change happens large and small. It happens top and bottom. The successful social movements of the past have been successful, number one, because they were rooted locally, but they were able to act nationally. But then the next piece is that they were able to transform national action into local change, into reality on the ground. And I think we have to focus not just on what we did to elect Barack Obama, but what we need to do to translate this administration's successes into reality right here in our cities and in our state. I mean, you know, the stimulus package is a great thing. What does it translate into here? Who does it help? Whose pockets does it go into? It seems to me those are critical challenges that we at the base need to step up to in order to complete the cycle. So it's not a one-way deal, but it's a deal that goes the full circle. I'm going to wrap up here then with Shakespeare. That's always a good idea, right? The Bible or Shakespeare. I often do the Bible, but I do Shakespeare. In Julius Caesar, Shakespeare writes, There is a tide, he writes, in the affairs of men. We would now say in the affairs of people, that taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the ventures of our lives are bound up in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves or lose our ventures. Or as my friend Tom Hayden once said, change is slow, except when it's fast. It's a fast moment now, so let's get with it. Thank you.